这样会不会比较好？会不会更高一点？你可以用。怕掉，怕也卡。
followed by print and online media. Now, before we begin, I'd like to invite Anita and Carl up and give you 2 minutes for photos. If you want to take more pictures later, there's a display area with a report behind you in the back. All right, thank you again, and hope you enjoy the presentation. Now I invite Anita and Carl up. Minutes for photos. If you want to take more pictures later, there's a display area with a report behind you in the back. All right, thank you again, and hope you enjoy the presentation. Now I invite Anita and Carl up. All right, thank you very much, Carl and Anita. Once again, I hope you enjoy this morning, and I hand over to our president, Carl Wagner.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Despite global uncertainty, Taiwan continues to stand out as one of the most resilient and strategically significant economies. Our members are becoming more strategic in how they manage risk, investing in stronger continuity planning, and reinforcing their long-term commitment to Taiwan. Today, we will walk you through what our members are seeing on the ground, where confidence is strengthening, where risks are concentrating, and what this means for Taiwan in 2026 and beyond. Before turning to our findings, let me begin with a brief overview of our respondents. Between November 18th and December 21st, 2025, AmCham Taiwan surveyed 411 eligible member companies. The Chamber received 206 responses, representing a strong 50% response rate and delivering statistically credible insights. The companies participating come from more than 20 industries covering all corners of the economy. The highest participation this year came from healthcare, professional services, and the ICT sector. AmCham member companies demonstrate deep, long-term commitment to Taiwan. More than 80% have operated here for over a decade, and nearly half for almost 30 years. These are experienced operators, deeply embedded in Taiwan's economy. Encouragingly, we've also seen companies that recently decided to set up operations in Taiwan. Among the non-Taiwanese companies, approximately 30% report directly to headquarters in Greater China, while 19% report directly to North America. Over the past 3 years, the share of companies reporting to the U.S. and China has remained largely the same. The share reporting to an APAC headquarters declined by 5 percentage points this year. Most of that shift moved into the other category. Companies in this group mostly report to the Middle East or operate under multiple reporting lines. Overall, 87% are headquartered outside of Taiwan, with more than half based in the United States. This reveals Taiwan's position as a key node within global corporate networks. where investment, supply chain decisions, and regional strategy are increasingly shaped by both U.S. and Asia-based headquarters. Now, to walk us through the survey's key findings, I will hand over to our chairperson, Anita Chen.
Thank you, Carl. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the 2026 Business Climate Survey. So, the 2026 Business Climate Survey captures the year of fast technological progress alongside unanswered questions about geopolitics and trade. Despite these pressures, our members continue to demonstrate confidence, not blind optimism, but confidence grounded in experience, adaptation, and long-term planning. So first, on economic outlook. In 2026, 82% of respondents said that they are confident in Taiwan's economic growth outlook for the next 12 months. Taiwan's economy boomed in 2025 thanks to AI-driven demand, especially for servers and advanced semiconductors. At the same time, our members are aware of potential bumps in the road, including uneven growth, tariff exposure in traditional industries, and slowdown in AI demand. But looking further ahead, confidence strengthens rather than weakens. 84% of our respondents said that they are confident in Taiwan's economic outlook over the next 3 years. This is 7 percentage points more than last year. Next to business performance. Company performance is also very solid. 84% of our companies reported stable or increased revenue in 2025. Growth was strongest in financial services and ICT sectors because they benefit directly from investment momentum and digital demand. Industrial sectors, such as machinery and equipment and energy and infrastructure, reported more moderate growth, highlighting an uneven economy. On to revenue confidence. Around 82% of our companies expressed confidence in their own revenue in 2026, and 83% over the next 3 years. Members in defense, financial sectors, and ICT were the most confident, while machinery, hospitality, and retail sector remain more cautious. One of the strongest signals in our survey is the investment data. 89% of companies maintained or increased their investment in Taiwan in 2025. For 2026, 92% of NCHEN members plan to keep or boost investment. For the ICT sectors, not a single respondent plans to decrease investment. In fact, 70% of them said that they plan to expand even more in Taiwan. So what are companies invest in? When we asked that questions, companies responded that skill developments and staff training are their top priorities, followed by marketing and sales. We also found that our members care about building Taiwan as an engine for innovation. 56% invested in R&D in 2025, and 87% of those include Taiwan as a target market. This reinforces Taiwan's role not only as an innovation hub, but also as a highly valued market. Interestingly, one of the most striking findings this year concerns AI. Last year, only 12% of respondents said that they plan to invest in AI and IoT. However, in this year's survey, we see that actual investment in 2025 reached 28%, which means that the investment is faster than they expected. And the momentum continues. An even greater 32% of respondents said that they plan to invest in AI in 2026. It is clear that Taiwan is transitioning from a manufacturing center to a technological frontier, where companies anticipate future value, efficiency, and competitive edge. We also ask our members about Taiwan as a place to live and work. We found that Taiwan is a prime destination for foreign professionals because of personal safety, healthcare quality, and friendliness toward foreigners. But our members are also happy about living costs and mass transportation. However, the picture is not without challenges. Road safety, salaries, banking, and childcare continues to rank near the bottom. Among them, childcare services in particular has declined as a category, highlighting gaps in availability, affordability, and access. The good news is that the government plans to expand childcare subsidies and resources and to make changes to parental leave policies and housing support. Next on to workforce. AmCham members understand that business success depends on people. Almost half of our companies said employee competence is the most important factor for their success in Taiwan. Around 78% said that they're happy with their ability to recruit talent. Satisfaction was highest in chemical, media and entertainment, financial services, and energy and infrastructure. However, healthcare industry continues to face the greatest challenge in hiring. To attract and retain this talent, companies are offering additional leaves, better benefits, training, and competitive salaries. Regulatory environment. When it comes to laws and regulations, 54% of our companies agree that they can be researched easily, which is a 12% improvement from last year. However, our members also hope that regulation can be more consistently interpreted and stakeholders can be more appropriately consulted. Also, they also hope English translation can be available sooner. When we ask members about government priorities, our members tell us that cross-strait relations was top of their list, followed by a trade agreement with the US. Taiwan's aging population rose to third. Taiwan is now officially a super age society, and concerns are growing about workforce, healthcare, and financial stability. Last year, many of our friends in the media reported on the concerns our members had about energy. While our members are not completely relaxed about this yet, we see major improvements. Whether it's energy supply, the grid, or costs, concern levels have gone down significantly. Most of you know that every year AmCham Taiwan publishes a white paper with suggestions to the Taiwan government on how to improve business climate. Throughout the year, we host dialogues and meetings with government entities to discuss solutions. About half of our members find these meetings effective. Last year, the number was only 35%, and we look forward to continuing to see the number to grow. National security ranked as the top perceived risk to business operations, followed closely by cross-strait relations. Our members recognize the risks, but are not discouraged by them. As you can see, geopolitical uncertainty as an investment deterrent declined to 38%, which is down from 66% in 2023. Companies have increasingly priced risk into long-term strategy. When it comes to cross-strait relations, data continue to show a clear gap between perceived risk and operational disruption. Only 7% of respondents said that they were significantly disrupted by tension across the Taiwan Strait in 2025. For most companies, concerns center on long-term stability, predictability, and escalation risks. The impact of US-China rivalry remains widespread, but companies are not responding with large-scale decoupling. Instead, what we see is a gradual strategic adjustment. Over the past 5 years, 28% of companies have relocated parts of their operations out of China, and more than half of those that moved chose Taiwan as part of that shift. Next, tariffs. tariffs emerged as the defining issue in 2025. At Amgen, we welcome the January agreement between the US and Taiwan that lowered the tariff rate ceiling of Taiwanese exports to 15%. This brought Taiwan's treatment broadly in line with other major US trading partners, offering companies a clear and more predictable framework. We surveyed our members before the deal had been announced, and the ceiling was higher. While most Amgen members were not directly impacted, the indirect economic impact has shaped investment planning, pricing strategies, and supply chain decisions throughout 2025. So what are some of the key highlights from this year's survey? Amgen member companies remain deeply committed to Taiwan. 92% plan to maintain or increase investment, not simply because conditions are easy, but because companies recognize the benefits of doing business here. Over the past several years, risk awareness has increased, and so has the ability to manage it. This is what we describe in the report as Taiwan's resilience dividend. While geopolitics, regulations, and protectionism continue to shape the global environment, companies are no longer standing still. They have priced in the unknown, adapted their strategies, and continue to invest in Taiwan's long-term potential. That confidence is driven by tangible fundamentals, impressive performance in advanced manufacturing, AI and digital investment, and a workforce that is capable and reliable. Taiwan's evolution from flashpoint to frontier reflects this shift. It is increasingly defined by opportunity as a technology hub, an innovation platform, and a critical partner in global supply chains. There are challenges, but the direction is clear. With the right policies, openness, and close collaboration between government and industry, Taiwan can build on this momentum. Amgen Taiwan will continue to be a bridge between government and industry, working to strengthen competitiveness, security, and prosperity. Thank you for your attention. We are now open to questions.
Thank you very much, Anita. Now we have time for some questions, and please state your name and your media affiliation before you ask your question.
Thank you, Ben Blanchard from Reuters. The section where you talk about 46% of respondents revising their business continuity plans, which is an increase from 40% last year. Do you have any, when you talk to your member companies, what kinds of things do they tell you about the business continuity plan? What are they doing? What would they like to do more of? And I mean, I would assume this is, I mean, we get earthquakes and typhoons here, right? It's not just about like a China contingency. So what message are you getting from your members about these business continuity plans and what they're doing differently now that they were perhaps not previously doing? Thank you.
Thanks for that. From talking to our members, I think the point is that resilience has, and you talked about earthquakes, resilience has changed from just being earthquakes to looking at other challenges, right? Just as a whole society, resilience from the administration is looking at overall, resilience on a broader base. So I think they're having more conversations with their head office, and HQ is asking them more questions, but they're being able to develop a little bit more, I guess, spend more time developing answers and addressing larger issues. So again, I think it's giving their head offices more confidence.
If I can add a little bit to what Carl just shared, I think it also is about providing clarity and predictability, which we all know is very important for business operation. So part of the resilience planning is about finding clarity and providing credibility for their operation.
Hello, I'm Vincent from Now News. About the issue on tariffs, recently Taiwan and the US government has reached the point of like 15%. I'm asking, is Chen actually satisfied with the results? And secondly, with the today incident that happened in South Korea, that President Trump was very upset that the Korean government didn't pass the tariffs and he raised it to 25%. I'm asking because the opposition party in Taiwan is very front on the current deal. So will that be actually a concern and issue for Chen? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So to your first question, how do we view the 15% tariff decision that came out of the January decision? So as we said in our statement as the decision was announced, we think that this is a constructive step that provides clarity and predictability for business operation. It helps reduce uncertainty although tariffs are only the one part of the overall trade environment. The tariff alignment with Japan and Korea definitely supports Taiwan competitiveness. But we expect broader US-Taiwan collaboration beyond semiconductors, strengthening the bilateral relationship. So the next step that we see is to resolve the long-term issue of a double taxation to facilitate more investment. To your second question about whether the same situation could happen in Taiwan, we certainly don't want to see that happen. As we mentioned earlier, we see that this trade deal between US and Taiwan is the right step toward the right direction, and it provides a framework for long-term technology collaboration between US and Taiwan. So we hope to see that the implementation is smooth in Taiwan.
Any more questions before we invite TV media up? You good? Would you like another one? You can have another one.
Sorry. My second question is more on energy. I mean, in the past, like during our white paper and our previous survey, actually energy is a big concern in Taiwan. And regardlessly what past year has been, it's probably a turbulent year for green energy here. But the concerns of like the members of Chen is actually lower. Why is that happening? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, energy is from last year's survey is not the top priority. But overall, energy is concerned worldwide, right? Especially with data centers and AI continuing to grow. Among our members, perceptions have shifted as some risks were managed, and we're happy that the government is paying attention to the energy issues. We look forward to continue our dialogue with the government on how to improve the energy supply in Taiwan. For businesses, and we said this all along, and for a lot of things, the enduring requirement is reliability, resilience, and a clear transition. And with that pathway, the government can help encourage investment, and companies can expand operations with confidence. Chen Taiwan actually has an interactive energy calculator on our website, and which can be used to project future needs versus supply, and we've seen people use that quite often.
All right, we'll go back to Ben.
Sorry, you mentioned the double taxation agreement, which obviously President Lai and government officials talk about all the time. I know you've talked about it before as an important, what you view as being it's an important element to continue to drive Taiwanese investment in the United States. How optimistic are you this year that there could be some progress on this? I know you're not government, I know you're not policymakers, but you guys do go to Washington, you do talk to officials there. What kind of message are you getting in your general hopes and expectations? Perhaps we might get an agreement this year. Thank you.
It's a great question, and I'll just say when I joined AmCham about 9 months ago, and I heard that this conversation has been going on for so long. I couldn't believe it's been so many years. But I think from speaking to lots of folks in DC, this year looks like a good year with a lot of positive potential for people are looking on how to get it through. And I think it's bipartisan. Everyone's thinking about it. We speak about it with all the delegations that come here. They bring that message back. And no, I think this year, it's really people are trying to figure out where to fit it into the schedule. It's not whether they want to do it or not, they want to do it. It's where do they fit in the schedule with all the other bills that are going through.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll invite Carl and Anita up to the center. And TV media, if you have any questions or would like to fill a bit more, to come up and do that first. And right after that, we'll have time for print and online media to come up and ask some more questions.
我们先进行 TV 电子媒体联访，有需要访问的也要出来。
看到吗？上去。哦，在这边就好了，这样好吗？那不要。站近一点，你的想法，请他们站近一点，请他们站近一点啊。丽丽，背景背。
At this point, that was just announced this morning, so I don't think we can assess anything to our members about our members' thoughts on that. I mean, if the tariff rates continue to, if there's a gap of 10%, obviously it'd be more competitive to Taiwan and an opportunity for Taiwan manufacturers. Yes.
As I said earlier, we certainly don't want to see the same situation happen in Taiwan because the agreement is not just about tariff. It provides a very clear pathway to the U.S.-Taiwan economic corridor and how we collaborate to build a technology future for Taiwan. So should that happen in Taiwan, it will be a missed step. It will be a missed chance to build this technology collaboration between the U.S. and Taiwan.
So what's driving the mention of this?
I think some of the things we see from Taiwan, again, that's incredible supply chain, the trustworthiness. We've seen this in many industries over in Taiwan over decades. Right? That the trustworthiness of the Taiwan, the connection to the supply chain, gives it an advantage over other countries. And again, 93% of our members are looking to maintain or increase investment. So it's a very high number, very impressive.
Also, if you refer to the headline of our report, Taiwan has evolved from the flashpoint to tech frontier, which is because of Taiwan's very impressive advanced semiconductor manufacturing capability, and also a very reliable workforce that is driving this business companies.
One is obviously AI. AI is an opportunity, and the U.S. is pushing on that. Taiwan is a great partner to work on that. Another area is cybersecurity. Right? That's where Taiwan can work with the U.S. The U.S. are the top in cybersecurity, and how can Taiwan work with them? So there's various areas that are continue to grow, and I think that connection with investments in the U.S. and we get the double taxation and investment both ways, not just into the U.S. but into Taiwan. Yeah, makes it a lot easier. Obviously, defense is defense co-production and defense that you saw from the survey is one of the top opportunities for a member.
Well, I think everybody understands that there's a lot of the movement globally in terms of geopolitics. So certainly business look at the external environment when they run their operations. And that is why those concerns have come up as the top priorities. However, as we emphasize, companies choose to stay in Taiwan despite these geopolitical concerns. And it's not because things are easy, it's because companies are getting better to manage these risks with resilience planning and business operation.
And national security is a broad question of relations. So where is that?
I think, as Carl mentioned earlier, cybersecurity is one of the most important areas that impacts Taiwan. And the government has said national security is national security, national security is cybersecurity. So we know that Taiwan has been a target for a lot of cyber threats. And that's against government, that's against business. And we think that is one of the reasons why this has become one of the top concerns.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? Here's your online meeting.
有平面跟网络媒体需要连上了吗？
没事没事没事。
声音都不行，对不对？嗯。线